keeps on burning. Fire in your heart, it just keeps on burning. Don't worry, you got the future on your mind. No hurry, let's take it one day at a time. Feeling like you're stuck in a hurricane, 'cause everything around you just keeps on turning. I can see you searching for an escape. The fire in your heart, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just keeps on burning. Keeps on, it just keeps on burning. Fire in your heart, it just keeps on burning.
Namaste and welcome to the New Zealand National Indian Hockey Tournament QBT, coming to you live from the beautiful Puna Sports Centre here in Christchurch. It's day 2 of QBT and we bring you the second round of women's games for the day. This game out here, an exciting clash between the Bay Plenty Indian women and North Harbour Indian women. Both teams have gone very well through the first 2 games of tournament, picking up wins in both of their first games, and will likely be a precursor for tomorrow's final. The North Harbour team playing in the navy blue, and the Bay of Plenty women playing in the black with orange, white and green. Like I said, both teams unbeaten coming into this clash, and will play again tomorrow in the women's final. So both teams will want to put on strong performances here in their lead up to tomorrow's game. As we see the teams go through their final bits of preparation, we'll see the Bay Plenty women will be coached by Dr. Karandeep Lal, and the North Harbour Indian women will be coached by Yogesh Hari, who's just come off scoring a goal late for Central Districts in the previous men's game. It's a big game here. Like I said, both teams will play tomorrow's final, and both teams have played well so far over the weekend, so it'll be a real interesting matchup between these two sides that boast both experience and youth across their sides. As the teams come out here, the game will be umpired by Lewis Brownsey and Lindsay Jones, and they will have Tim Oakley as the reserve umpire and Tom Mosley in the technical bench. It's a nice day here at Puna Sports Centre in Christchurch. It's a cold one, but the rain has stayed away, fortunately. What do we expect to see from today's women's game?
Well, I'm not too sure. It's definitely going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. It will be an exciting game. It's the two form teams of the competition. They've come in and both played really well in their first 2 games, and it's often a tough one, this middle game of QBT, where they've already played a game this morning, so the legs will be tired. They'll also be forward thinking to tomorrow's game, so it'll be interesting to see how both of these two teams play, whether they show their full hand, whether they go out and give everything here today and get the psychological advantage for tomorrow, or whether they try and leave some in the reserve to make sure they've got an effort to put in for the final.
Yeah, it's interesting. The third and fourth quarters, I think that's where you're going to see some changes in the game, whether those energy reserves are being used up or...
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the lineups here for both teams. For the Plenty women, we highlight the likes of Oriwa Hepi, who's always fantastic for the Bay women, Gurleen Gill, who played recently for the New Zealand Indian women's side in the Heritage Hockey Tournament, Kashona Fitzgerald in goal, so she's captaining the side for this game this afternoon. Fantastic young goalkeeper coming out of the Rotorua and Midlands region, and they'll be strong today out here. And of course the North Harbour Indian Sports Club sporting some names that you'd likely see playing for Pukekohe Indians, but we've got the likes of Misha Tately, who plays for North Harbour and a strong North Harbour Indians player. Rashika Chiba will be out there, and they're joined by the likes of Manisha Jerem, Mia Willab in goal, and like I said, experience and youth on both sides of the park, and strong right across both teams. So it will be an exciting battle, exciting contest. I'm looking forward to this one. And it will be the Bay Plenty woman with first use of the ball. It is Oriwa Hepi, and she's linking up there. They've got numbers going forward. I don't envy the umpires in this game. The colours are quite tough to look at out there, both dark strips. It'll be tough for players and umpires out there, but so Rashika Chiba just opens up the other side of the field there. And find Manisha Jerem just unable to pull that one in for North Harbour. And it will be Gurleen Gill on the ball for Bay Plenty. Just looking at her options going forward. She's got a here is Manisha Jerem. Yeah, well worked out of the back there by Priya Papachetri for Bay Plenty. Big Gurleen Gill come onto the free hit. She's got Whipper out the back. There's a few of the Whipper family out here for Bay Plenty. All three of them starting in today's game, Michaela and Stacey, and then their mum Michelle playing at the back, which is awesome. A lot of family connections in this QBT, whether it's players on the field, management, siblings, or relatives in other teams. It's such a feature of QBT. And here come Bay Plenty women. It's Oriwa Hepi coming down the middle of the field.
And what's really interesting about that North Harbour team, you've got a makeup of all different people there. You've got, your Pukekohe there, you've got a few Christchurch girls, and North Harbour all coming together for this tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome for, I know the numbers certainly at tournament for the on the women's side have struggled over the last couple of years, so it's awesome to give everybody an opportunity to come together, put a team together, and make sure all of those associations can be represented, and those that want to play can play, because it's a fantastic tournament, QBT.
Yeah, it's brilliant hockey.
And here's Misha Tately. She's looking across the field, finds Rashika Chiba coming forward with the ball for North Harbour. And again, just trying to link up with Jerem going forward. She's always dangerous going forward with the ball, as Manisha Jerem. Here's Gurleen Gill coming forward with the ball. Plays her hockey out of Bethlehem College at Tauranga. There's Rashika Chiba coming forward. She does well there to win the free hit through the tackle of Oriwa Hepi. And a great link pass there coming forward for North Harbour. There's an entry. And it's just going to roll onto the foot there of Priya Papachetri. And it will be the North Harbour team with first use of attacking penalty corner. Here, do you know much of their attacking corners? What we're likely to see?
Oh, not too sure actually.
I saw earlier they had Misha Tately on a bracket. She's got both a sweep hit and a bit of a drag flick. She's set on the first bracket. And they'll go a little slip variation back into the injector Manisha Jerem there, but well defended and well covered up by Plenty. And here comes Uriwa Hepi. She's got to play a well forward in a lot of space. That's a fantastic ball by Uriwa Hepi. And fantastic stick skill worked around there was Shinsia Golden. And that's a lovely pass forward by Uriwa Hepi. That's the expertise she brings to this team. Being able to play eyes up as we see the replay here. That's a 50-metre pass out of her own back half and well finished around Mia Wallab goal for North Harbour. And just like that, we go from penalty corner at one end to goal at the other end, and that's how quick hockey can happen. And certainly here at QBT, teams can turn defence into attack really quickly. Yeah, they come again, Bay of Plenty. They've had no shortage of goals in their first two games. Winners 5-0 on day one and then 6-0 this morning. So they've found their way to the back of the net and started again in that same vein. North Harbour were winners 5-0 on day one and then did get up 2-0 this morning. It was 2-0 pretty early and then battled their way through the rest of the game. So it'll be interesting to see where the energy reserves are at for this afternoon's game, because this morning's one was a real battle for them. Like I said earlier, both of these sides will contest tomorrow's final. So tactical play here today will be interesting to see what each team is trying to achieve and what coaches are looking to do, as we've got the goal scorer again coming forward here for the Bay of Plenty. Oh, and she'll just get the short blow of the whistle for maybe asking for a penalty corner after that play over the back line, but that's just passion coming out, and we love that here at QBT. Under a bit of pressure here, Bay of Plenty. They'll roll the ball out to Gurleen Gill. A little overhead will fall to North Harbour. This is Hepi again on the ball for Bay of Plenty. She's got Misha Tately putting some pressure on her, and she rolls the ball back out to Michelle Wepper. Gurleen Gill again, who they've used a fair bit to outlet up the right hand side. Gurleen Gill, she does have a little overhead, but that one's not going to make its way through this time. North Harbour will just win their free hit. It's been an excellent tournament so far down here in Christchurch. It's cool to bring the tournament back here. It's a tough place for some associations and some teams to get here, but those that have shown up have put on a really good tournament.
Yeah, it's been 15 years since we've had it here, and it's lovely to have all teams back. Yeah. It's great for the community, and it's good to see the players get here and amongst COVID and bits and pieces.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, and for those that can't be here, the ability for us to broadcast this out online, as we see Misha Tately just come forward here for Harbour. There's a circle entry, a fantastic block tackle there by Uriwa Hepi. Oh, and it's been left there, but I don't think she knew she was behind her. She was just happy to take the sideline free hit. And they do enough to scramble and win the free hit there, North Harbour. Yeah, with it being in Christchurch and with COVID still affecting things, it's fantastic that we're able to bring live coverage of the games to New Zealand and out to the world for those that are watching everywhere. We've had texts and calls in coming from Australia, from over in Asia, of people tuning in and watching the games, which is fantastic. There's an opportunity for the Harbour women's side to come forward. It's Rashika Chiba on the ball. And well picked up there by Uri Wahepi. Yeah, and we couldn't bring this tournament or this broadcast to you without the work of our fantastic sponsors. And take a note to mention a massive thank you to the property boss, Dawson Insurance, One Foundation, Radar Direct, and of course Bayleys, as well as the work that Pegasus Health have done for helping keep this tournament as safe from the impacts of COVID as possible. It's a massive effort to put a tournament on like this and to broadcast it around the country, and we thank those sponsors immensely for all the work that they do, as well as the support from the New Zealand Indian Sports Association and all of the Indian sports associations and clubs around the country for getting everybody here, putting on a fantastic tournament and celebrating Indian hockey in New Zealand. So see Bay Plenty will have free hit just outside the 25-yard line. It's Michaela Wepper on the ball. And it is Wepper again, just winning the ball back. Which it's just going into the final 5 minutes of this first quarter here. Bay Plenty women up 1-0 through a fantastic breakout goal after a penalty corner and finish to Shinsia Golden. Bay Plenty women playing with the fair share of possession this first quarter. They've been controlled in the way they move the ball. There's another opportunity, well defended there by North Harbour. Good strong defensive work. And again, just not as smooth going forward for Bay Plenty as they would like, but they'll get the ball back here through the 16-yard hit. Gill and Wepper on the ball at the back for Bay Plenty. This is Stacey Wepper. Great work and touch there by Jasmine Fitzwalter, and here comes Uri Wahepi. She's dangerous coming forward with the ball, finds Fitzwalter again, but unable to pull it in. As Rashika Chiba comes out and links up with Manisha Jerem for North Harbour. They're behind 1-0 on the scoreboard at the moment, but plenty of hockey left to play. Jerem again jumps onto the loose ball and unlocks going forward. Just started to move without the ball there was Vandana Patel. Unfortunately, because she was in a pretty good space up there. Gill just looking at her options out of the back here for Bay Plenty women's side. A very obvious ploy to play forward there to the goal scorer, Shinsia Golden. She's obviously dangerous if they can get the ball to her going forward and trying to isolate her one-on-one with defenders.
Sharmina Lentham there, just clearing it out. Right.
It's good to see Sharmina, quote-unquote, coming out of retirement for QBT.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's not the only one, and it probably won't be the only time, but
yeah.
Fantastic to have her out here.
Indeed.
I think if she takes any pointers from her coach for this weekend, Yogeshari, there's no such thing as retirement.
Sounds a bit young, these girls retiring at early 20s.
Yeah. QBT will keep them coming back, that's for sure.
That's a great thing. I think one of the Auckland teams today had a lady in her 50s, 56.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. And how good is that?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, that'll be Katarina Fredericks in there taking a seat for the Bay of Plenty woman. She'll be out there for a couple of minutes. Just judged to hit the ball away after the whistle, so Bay of Plenty will play a man down here for a little bit. That is Charmaine Leatham in there, was just working the midfield. It'll be a tough matchup between Leatham and Orewa Hepi in there. I'm sure they've played a bit against each other. And here come Harbour. There's a baseline entry, but just rolls off the stick there over the baseline, and it will spell the end of our first quarter. It's gone quickly. Quick first quarter, and the Bay of Plenty women are up 1-0 over Harbour. It is a precursor to tomorrow's final. Both teams will be just seeing how each other play, feeling the start of the game out, and making plans and adjustments in their preparation for tomorrow. But they'll both want to win this game. Nobody likes to lose a game here at QBT. Both winners so far this weekend. As we see some of the highlights here, it was Harbour with the first opportunity through penalty corner. Manisha Jerem just shooting that one wide, but it was this long ball from Orewa Hepi finding Shinsia Gowden for Bay of Plenty. She's done really well to work around Mia Wallab there in goal. Both teams with some opportunities, and it was just the one goal that we've seen so far. And what do you think Yogesh Hari will be saying to these North Harbour players out here at the moment in preparation for the second quarter?
Oh.
He looks pretty animated, and then you can see both coaches out there, Karandeep Lal for Bay of Plenty, as well as Yogesh Hari for North Harbour. They'll be wanting to put some real clear plans in place in preparation for the second quarter. I thought Bay of Plenty held the ball well. North Harbour were probably a little disconnected at times through the quarter and just let themselves down on some of the smaller basic trapping the ball and passing stick to stick, so they'll want to tidy that up, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of possession from Bay of Plenty, but in that last minute you saw sort of North Harbour connecting up again and getting back a bit of play. Yep,
absolutely, and it'll come. This North Harbour side have threats right across the park, and it's just going to be the little things that, if they can link 2 to 3 passes, they'll be very dangerous. And we've seen that in games already this weekend. Here we go. Here's Harbour. Yeah, good work there at Karanjot Kaur there for Bay of Plenty woman. She's going to look for the circle entry, and it is the goal scorer again, but well defended and taken in there by Alicia Patel, and Harbour will come forward here. Just looking at options going forward. That's a lovely receive. She's done well there to pull it in. She's running out of space quickly. They'll keep possession there. It's Devyani Soma working up the attacking left side for North Harbour. And Soma again on the ball. And they'll keep the long corner, will North Harbour. Misha Tately will come out onto the ball. In fact, she'll move off and Yes, you can even see off screen here Bay of Plenty woman just holding one player right up high up the field to allow them an outlet for when they do turn the ball over.
And they did a nice job of that earlier on in the first quarter.
It just doesn't allow North Harbour to send all their troops up to attack, and they've got to be wary of that threat, especially after she did score the goal in the first quarter. There's the battle, Tatley and Heppy in the middle of the field. And just runs away from Misha Tatley there. Bay of Plenty woman will come out through Michelle Wepper. North Harbour putting a nice bit of pressure on here. And they will win possession. They've done well there. North Harbour set up well.
Nice
pulled
control.
that in well. Yeah. Just got a little mixed up there. Unfortunately, North Harbour, she done really well to pull the ball in. Well done. She's done really well there. Anjali Panchir there just to roll the ball onto the foot on the entry, and it will win another penalty corner here for North Harbour. As we see, just the pass went straight to the Harbour player, and this is the work of Panchir. She does well. So it's their second penalty corner of the game. The first one they slipped in back into the injector, which was Manisha Jerem at the time. Doesn't look like Jerem is on the field, and Rashika Chiba will go down to pull the ball out. I've got Leatham has come up onto the first bracket, and it will. Alright, so Rashika Chiba will have to go back to halfway. It must have been a break by the attackers. Ooh.
Another PC.
Yeah, that first one was run down by Stacey Wepper. That one's going to hurt on the bridge of the foot there, especially as cold as it is this weekend.
She's been cold today.
Yep, there's nothing worse than the achy top of the foot when it's cold and you're running on it every step. And they'll have to defend again here, Bay of Plenty. It's still Leatham at the top. Great save there by Kashona in goal for Bay of Plenty, and they're away here. Uriwa Hippie's got her eyes up, which is dangerous times for North Harbour if she can.
Oh, and there's that player at the top waiting for it.
That's a phenomenal pass there from Uriwa Hippie forward to Jasmine Fitzgerald. Very nearly became a good opportunity, but how quickly this Bay of Plenty team, because they've got that height, can break out. Vandana Patel again just trying to work out, but couldn't link up there with Chiba. And we'll bring Wepper on the ball for the Bay of Plenty side. And it's her daughter there, Michaela Wepper at the back. He's got Gurleen Gill. And they've got a couple of exponents of that long ball there. You just see Gurleen Gill happy to go upright over distance. When you've got players that can play ball over distance like that and strikers that are willing to receive the ball up nice and high, it creates some opportunities. Well, North Harbour will have to cotton on to that and make sure they're tightened up through those inside forward channels. Plenty will come forward again here. She's done well there, Gill, and the skip pass up to Wepper. That one's just going to roll away from Uriwa Hippie. I don't think she was going to latch onto that one. We're still just 1-0. first quarter goal to Bay of Plenty. Harbour have weathered some of this possession and they come forward here through Misha Tately. They've got the overlap and they've got numbers going forward if they can find them. And here they go again, back to front very quickly. Heppy coming forward, she's dangerous if you let her shoot.
Oh,
Great save by Mia Wallard.
brilliant.
That's fantastic on both sides of the ball. Well-timed shot and an excellent save there by Mia Wallab. Of course, her father Suresh playing in goal for the Puk Indian men's side this weekend. Here is Patel. She's a nice roll inside. It's just got away from her a little bit. Tatley will get it to where it needs to be going. It's out with Krishna Kumar. Manisha Jerem will win the free hit just outside the circle for Harbour. It's Krishna Kumar on the ball again. And just not quite the entry I think they would have wanted there. Would have liked to see that go across the goal instead of near side, but they'll try and keep it up here, this North Harbour side. Yeah, they really have to be aware of that threat, North Harbour, of the long ball, especially if it's going to be Oriwa Hepi who's the one chasing it down at the front. She's done well there just to roll the ball onto the foot of Manisha Jerem, and it'll be Bay of Plenty with an opportunity. You see her take the free hit quickly there, works through the first contest and then does really well just to roll the ball onto the foot, and it'll be penalty corner here to the Bay of Plenty. Interesting to see what they have coming off the bracket. It's their first one for the game. Looks like Gurleen Gill will step up onto the bracket. She does have a drag flick option. Great stick save there on the line as Rashika Chiba just playing at the three-man there in the defensive corner. It was a drag flick from Gill, and it was going at that awkward mid-height, probably top of backboard or a little higher, but well saved there by Rashika Chiba. Plenty still with possession. As we close in on the last 5 minutes here of the second quarter, no change to the score. Both teams with opportunities at both ends. Goalkeepers called to make saves this quarter. And Charmaine Leatham will come onto the ball here for North Harbour. Bay of Plenty putting a bit of a press on. Krishna Kumar does well coming out for Harbour, but Oriwa Hepi does well to link up with Katarina Fredriksson. And she just pushes one wide of the goal there. Mia Wallab coming out to put some good pressure on. Yes, there's just under 4 minutes here. Harbour want to do a little bit better than that coming out of the back, but they'll want to put some pressure on this Bay of Plenty women's side. If they can get into the break, level on the scoreboard will do massive things for them. It's been a fairly even quarter, this one. Both teams, as I mentioned, having opportunity at the attacking end, and both goalkeepers doing well to keep their sides clean for this quarter. It's just the first quarter goal to the Bay of Plenty that separates them on the scoreboard so far. Manisha Jerem looks to push forward and can't quite link up there with Anjali Panchia. Good turn there by Michaela Wepper. She's got some space now. And just can't find that last pass going forward. Both teams a little guilty of just not being able to link that final pass together. Sometimes as they break through the midfield there. And the team that can capitalise on that will put themselves in a good spot. Here is Jerem. She's got Tately who's rolled in front of her. Links up with Krishma Kumar. There's Rashika Chiba in the middle of the field if she can find her, but it's a good little intercept touch. It's going to run away from everybody there. Tately and Chiba playing the two-man game down the right side. There's an opportunity here for Harbour. Great ball across. Just beats the stick of everybody. It will be Harbour again here through Devyani Soma. Great bit of skill there from Soma. And Manisha Jerem. That's a lovely finish on the aerial ball that's just bounced up off the stick of Bay of Plenty, and we talked about if North Harbour could find their way to level on the score sheet after the pressure that they have dealt with, as we see the replay here. It's Devyani Soma doing a lot of work here, and it's Manisha Jerem on the upright reverse. First to jump onto the bouncing ball there, and we are 1-1 here between North Harbour and Bay of Plenty in this final women's game for day 2 of QBT 2022 here at Ngā Punawai Sports Centre in Christchurch. And as I said, probably a fairly even quarter, the second one, and I think for the style of hockey these two teams want to play, exciting going into a close game at half-time. They'll be able to get some energy reserves back, get some messaging out from the two coaches, and the third quarter will become a really interesting one. There's a bouncing ball in here, well scrambled by Harbour, and this is Jerem. If she can get to the ball first. She does enough. And that will spell half-time between these two teams. A good end-to-end game. It's going both ways. Both teams have had opportunities, and both goalkeepers pulling off really good saves to keep the scores just to 1-1 between Bay of Plenty Indian Women and North Harbour Indian Women's sides. A precursor for tomorrow's final, but an exciting game nonetheless. What have you enjoyed so far about the game?
I've enjoyed that whole game. It's just brilliant hockey from these two teams. They're two great teams.
Yeah, it's awesome to see some of those experienced players really directing their sides around, and players that have played a number of QBT tournaments, played rep level hockey, playing at the highest level in Premier Club hockey, really driving their teams to play well.
And what's so interesting is you've got this Bay of Plenty team, and a lot of those players are playing together in and out each week. And then you've got this North Harbour team that are made up of, 3 different provinces, and they're competing on the same level, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a real testament to the skill level and experience of some of these players, just to be able to work with what's in front of them and what they've got.
Absolutely. Come together for a weekend and link up and produce this kind of hockey. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed so far the battle in the middle of the fields between Oriwa Hepi for Bay of Plenty and Misha Tately and Sharmina Leatham for North Harbour. A number of really experienced players that have played to some of the highest levels. It's exciting to see them really push and lead for their teams, and It's also both of the young goalkeepers who have been exceptional in the first 2 quarters there, both being asked to pull off a number of saves. Kashona Fitzgerald in goal for the Bay Plenty Women, and Mia Wallab in goal for North Harbour. Both young players and bright futures ahead of them as goalkeepers at QBT and potentially for New Zealand Indian women's sides to come. Awesome to see them really stepping up for their teams as well.
The brilliant eyesight from some of those Bay of Plenty players seeing, forward. It's amazing.
Yeah, and if you are just joining us on the live broadcast here, it's been opportunistic go forward when you see ball forward like that from Oriwahepi. Bay of Plenty team playing with a nice bit of height. Strikers happy to play well in advance of the play and stretch the game out, versus the North Harbour side who, when they string passes together, they start to look really dangerous. So 2 contrasting styles, but both playing out really well here.
Yeah, you've got a small passing game, but they're from North Harbour, and then the long shot game from Bay of Plenty.
Yep, and both teams will be trying to figure out how do you counteract the other one, because like I said, they'll play each other again tomorrow. So how do the North Harbour women cut out that long pass and make sure that they are nice and tight through those inside forward channels, and then vice versa, how do Bay of Plenty contend with getting numbers around the ball and stopping those 2-on-1s and 1-2s.
Yeah, that's it. They 1-2. They've got that going on.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a real sign of players that are experienced enough just to come together and play together. And you look down that list of the North Harbour side, as much as they probably don't play a lot together, probably more so against each other, but when you've got the likes of Rashika Chiba, Devyani Soma, Anjali Panchia, Krishma Kumar, Misha Tately, Manisha Jerem, these are all players that do and can play at the highest club level. When they can link together, it's fantastic.
And they're brilliantly feeding to all the other players and playing as a team.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what is really exciting about a QBT tournament. You've got some experienced players, but you've got some young ones out there as well that get an opportunity to play alongside some of these Premier Club players and really learn and grow. And it's not like those group of experienced players just hold the ball for themselves. They let these younger players play and run and experience playing at this level as well, and that's what grows hockey.
Yeah, you see them set it up and then link it off to them.
Yep.
Give them an opportunity.
Yeah, and exciting that you see both these sides with some young players. We look at the future of New Zealand Indian women's hockey is in great hands if we can grow the game with these young players early and get them this experience and exposure at QBTs.
Absolutely. And women's hockey at QBT level, it's now 50 years since we brought the women's in. It's brilliant, to keep going and see it grow.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Started in the 70s, their first women's hockey team. With Puki, Auckland and Wellington.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it's fantastic to see how much it's grown and will continue to grow. It's just creating platforms and opportunities for women to play in. As our teams come back out here for 3rd quarter hockey, it is the Bay of Plenty women in the black with orange, white and green playing against North Harbour in the navy blue. With white piping here in our final women's game for day 2 of QBT 2022. Of course, a special thank you to our sponsors, the Property Boss, Dawson's Insurance, One Foundation, Radar Direct and Bayleys. They're doing a fantastic job in everything that they do to support QBT 2022 and hockey and Indian sports in general, and helping us grow this game and grow the community. As we see Harbour women start with first attacking play. They've gone quickly here. Devyani Soma with a good bit of skill there. She's still got the ball. But worked away by Oriwahepi. She'll wear through the challenge there of Misha Tately and come off the ball for Gurleen Gill. Both teams locked up at 1-1. It was a late 2nd quarter goal to North Harbour that levelled the scores up just before the break. So Stacey Wepper on the ball there for Bay of Plenty. Charmina Leatham comes forward to intercept for North Harbour. And North Harbour will keep the ball there as it just rolls out over the sideline. The Krishna Kumar up there on the ball for North Harbour. Shamina Leatham. Oh, just I think a little mix-up with where Misha Tately was going in support, and Ori Wahepi looks at her options going forward, and
there's that pass, long pass.
There's that long ball again that got them the goal in the first quarter.
It's Kavita Lalu clearing it out.
Yeah, Bayleys will stay on attack here, up on the sideline. It's well intercepted there by Misha Tately. She'll want to win herself a free hit to get out, and does exactly that. Attempts for the overhead, but just doesn't quite get the purchase on it, and Bayleys will come forward here through Gurleen Gill. Devyani Soma putting a bit of pressure on there. Here's Uri Wahepi. She's still got the ball. She's got Shamina Leatham to take on. And Leatham does fantastically well there in the poke tackle for North Harbour to keep Uri Wahepi at bay. Bayleys will come forward again here. They've got Michaela Wepper on the ball at the long corner. She's got Gill in the middle of the field. Opts to go across the field. Yeah, free hit out there too. North Harbour, they do well there to keep that one down on the baseline. Shamina Leatham trying to link up, but it's too far in front of Devyani Soma. Joey Fitzwalter will come forward on the ball. She'll take the sideline hit here for Bayleys. Good transfer of the ball. It's Stacey Wepper across there. Roll the ball back into Priya Tapachetri there on the ball for Bayleys. It's intercepted by Manisha Jerem, and she'll come forward at pace. Does Manisha, works through. We'll just go back and take her free hit. Great pass out there. There's Devyani Soma. She can link up. She's got the circle entry. And just a nice low block tackle there by Tapachetri. Put the ball back onto Soma's foot. Here's Bayleys coming forward through the midfield and looking long again, and there is that link pass. There they go. Rashika Chiba working back for North Harbour. Shamina Leatham gets it away for momentarily, and under the foot of Lalu there. Here's Uri Wahepi. Does well there, Lalu for Harbour. Shamina Leatham. Good clean-up work there by Misha Tately. She'll roll out and just try and work her easy out with Devyani Soma. They do well there, the two of them for Harbour. Here's Tatley. She'll win the free hit. It's gone the other way. They thought they had the ball there, Bayleys. But it will be Tatley. In fact, it'll be Shamina Leatham to come forward with the ball. And it's rolled onto the foot there of the Bay of Plenty defender, so Harbour will have an opportunity to go ahead on the scoreboard here. If they can, it'll be their first lead of the game after Bay of Plenty women went up early. So you see this entry here, nice strong entry, and it just does roll up and onto the defender foot there, so they will have to defend one. Bay of Plenty. It's like Tatley and Leatham have come up onto the two brackets here for North Harbour. Nisha Jerem to pull the ball out. Just too high on the first shot there from Misha Tatley, and Bay will want to go quickly because they have that threat moving forward. There's the first long ball. And that's a 2-on-1. That's a lovely pass. Great work there again in goal by Mia Wallab, and it was Uriwa Hepi sliding into the goal, just trying to pick up the loose ball on the back post.
No, that was a brilliant example of the long passes. 2 passes and they're in the circle, right?
Yep. Yeah, and good sequence of passing in front of the goal there too. Very nearly paid off for them. And here we go. Good save again there by Wallab, and well worked out by Leatham. And again, that came from penalty corner at one end, saved, and then we go down the other end in 2 passes, and it's an opportunity at the other end. So how exciting this hockey is here at QBT between these two teams.
It's going to be interesting tomorrow to see if North Harbour can cut down those long passes.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll need to.
They're running away.
Yeah.
3 seconds later, and
yeah, especially as you get to day 3 of QBT and the legs get even more tired. You don't want to be chasing long balls too often in defence, because then when you turn around and try and attack, there's not much left. But here is the Bay. They'll roll out to Fredrickson. She'll play long. You can hear Uriwa Hepi there for Bay of Plenty, getting her team up nice and high into full press. I want to keep the ball down in this end here. And they've won possession back, Bay of Plenty. Great 2-man work there by Tatley and Soma. Oh, just gets a little bit too big on her there. Divyani Soma. Bay of Plenty will have the ball here. Was whip up. It's Michelle. She goes back to Fredrickson, who rolls one straight into Misha Tatley, and that's not good news for Bay of Plenty, because Tatley has her eyes up, and that's a fantastic tackle there by Chitritapa. She works to get it back, Tatley. She's one of those players that just never gives up. Misha Tatley, she'll keep pushing and keep fighting. And she was really strong again at New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament for the New Zealand Indian women's side. There's Fredrickson, the ball for Bay. It's North Harbour's turn to put on a good full press here. Both teams really trying to just exert a bit of pressure on those free hits. But that's a great ball and reverse stick trap. Whoa, Uriwa Hepi links up with Gurleen Gill. It's deflected goalward somehow by Uriwa Hepi, and the first save from Mia Wallab goes into the feet there of one of the Bay women. So well spotted by the umpire, and it's
Monica Patel.
opportunity here for Harbour. Great save by Kishona Fitzgerald. You see there North Harbour perhaps employing one of the Bay techniques and 2 passes down the other end. So, you know, maybe that's the way of shutting down the long ball, is doing it yourself and getting them on the back foot. And tactical adjustments perhaps by Coach Yogesh Hari. Very nearly paid off for them. Good save there by Kishona Fitzgerald in goal. Krishma Kumar up there. And they'll have another opportunity here, North Harbour, as we close into this final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Really important period right before the break. And if either team managed to find a way to be up at this break. And here we go. Well saved there by Kishona Fitzgerald for the Bay. She's really keeping them in this when they're under pressure here. Yeah, we talk often in commentary about the 2 or 3 minutes before a quarter or after a quarter being so important. You know, if you can have fought for the whole quarter and then just put yourself up going into that break, gives you a real confidence coming back in the next quarter. So this sort of final 90 seconds here of play in the third quarter, really important if either team can put their stamp on it. Does well there, does Devyani Somar and Charmaine Leatham. Good look forward there, trying to link up with Anjali Panchia there for North Harbour. Be really interesting to see how both these teams come out in this fourth quarter with the scores potentially locked up. Whether either team tries something a bit different, you know, in light of knowing that they're going to be able to play each other again tomorrow. See what options either team has. One thing we do notice at the moment is the sun glaring across the middle of the turf there at a pretty low state. Make some things a little bit difficult, certainly for the dugouts. But here's the Bay woman coming forward, and here's Gurleen Gill. If she can run it down, she's done well. And good defensive work back there by Lalu, was it back there for Harbour? And that will bring the end of our third quarter. Scores still level at 1-1. It was an early first quarter goal to the Bay Plenian and then a second quarter goal to North Harbour, which has kept our scores locked up at 1-1. No goals in that quarter there, but an exciting quarter nonetheless. What are you looking forward to most in this fourth quarter?
Oh, I don't know. See what happens. I think tomorrow's where all the action's going to happen.
Yep,
that's where we're going to see some stuff. Today, I think they're just sort of seeing what's happening, trying a few things out. Yeah, like we mentioned, these two teams, North Harbour and Bay of Plenty, both coming into today's game with 2 wins from 2 games, so cemented their spot in tomorrow's women's final. So it'll be really interesting. This next 15 minutes will set up what they plan to do tomorrow, and that both these teams will understand that that's what their eyes are on, tomorrow's game. But how they prepare in this final 15 minutes will be really interesting to see who gets the ascendancy into tomorrow's game, which will be a big game. And if we've seen some excitement in this game, I'm sure it'll be multiplied in tomorrow's final when everything's to play for. But it's been a good quality game out here today. It's we've mentioned a few times the contrasting styles and the way the teams are opting to play, the link passing and the 2-on-1s and 1-2s that have been working so well for North Harbour versus that real direct long ball and playing with strikers with height for this Bay of Plenty women's side. And they've both been doing it really well. Obviously, they're level on the scoreboard, and
Defensively, I think both teams have been pretty good as well, anchored by their goalkeepers who've both had a lot to do this afternoon.
And not a high-scoring game, this one, compared to some of the women's games that we've had this weekend so far.
Yeah, and that's what, and hope tomorrow will make a very exciting final. You see good quality hockey from both sides, attack and defence. And then it all starts to come down to little things like passion and desire and who wants to work harder for it, and that's when you really start to see some exciting hockey.
And you're right, tomorrow's where it's at, isn't it? When you've got a 1-1, third quarter, you've got 1-1 happening. We know tomorrow is going to be where the excitement happens.
Yeah. Yeah, so this quarter really becomes about what advantages are you going to take into tomorrow's game, whether it be...
Ooh.
It's just bounced up into the forehead there. She looks to be okay. Yeah, what little advantages can you take into tomorrow's game based on this last quarter here? As Uriwa Hepi comes forward with the ball, she's just going to play laterally and allow her players to keep moving. It's a great tackle there by Misha Tatley. The whistle didn't actually go there, but both teams kind of disagreed that it probably should have. And they will get the whistle this time, North Harbour, as they come forward into the attacking half. Harbour here just...
The sun's proving a little bit difficult for some of them, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Made brief mention of that, but yeah, it's until you're out there and really can see, especially with these uniform colours being so close together, it must be really tough out there. Just a little indirect tangle up there. Misha Tatley will come forward with the ball. She's got the entry, and it's saved there by Kashona Fitzgerald and goal for Bay Plenty. Yeah, I think you can see that's the indicator there. Neither of those teams are really sprinting to go and get that ball in the corner. I don't think they're really desperate at this point. So a lot will go into tomorrow, and that's a great ball in. Manisha Jerem just unable to get a stick on the ball, and she's come up a little bit limp, but she'll run that one off and be all good. Now Harbour have an opportunity here. They can go quickly, and they have through Karishma Kumar, and she's rolled a ball in. Good defensive work there by Stacey Wepper, who just keeps the ball on her stick and earns the free hit out for Bay Plenty after they weren't able to outlet effectively. It's Fitzwalter trying to link up with Hepi, but it was a little bit too far in front of her. She's got it back anyway as Hepi, but fortunate for Harbour, the free hit comes back up the field because that long ball was there again. Here's Misha Tatley on the ball for North Harbour. Score's still locked up at 1-1, and we're just coming into the final 10 minutes of this fourth and final quarter between the Bay Indians and North Harbour Indians. This is the women's draw of QBT 2022. Two teams without losses so far this weekend. I think as we think about the game so far, a draw probably does sound an accurate representation of how it's been this match. Always battling there is Uriwa Hepi. She won't take a backward step for anything. Whether this is a pool game or not, she'll give everything.
And there she goes.
Yeah, she plays every game like a final does. What do you want? She's one of those players you love to have on your team and probably not so fond of playing against. Yeah, she is again. Does well just to win the free hit. And forward they'll come, Bay women. It's Michelle Whipper this time looking long, but it doesn't get past the stick there of Anjali Panchia. It's starting to get a little bit crashy there. But opportunities come when you put the ball in under pressure. Done well there. Really were happy you're coming back. Look for the over. This could be dangerous for North Harbour.
Ooh.
Very nearly pulled in there by the goal scorer, Shinsia Golden. And that's the threat out of their own half that the Bay of Plenty Indians women side possess. Calls of penalty corner here from up in the grandstand and from Manisha Jerem on the field. It's not going to come though through the whistle, so they'll have to keep working for it. Intercepted well by Bay women, who look at that.
One pass,
yep,
two.
Yep, that's 65 metres down the field.
North Harbour are going to have to do something about that tomorrow, aren't they?
Yep. Entry there into Whipper. She'll just have a look and roll the ball back to her sister and Stacey Whipper. Here is Stacey Whipper. Oh, well taken in there by Uriwa Hepi. That's really tough to do, and she'll wind up. Great save there by Mia Willard, but not as far as clearance. It was actually Rashika Chiba there that deflected that one out over the back line for North Harbour. No, it's going to be after a little consultation, it will be the call that they all the players originally thought was the correct one. And yeah, they will come away, North Harbour. Krishma Kumar linking up there. Great work there. It's a fantastic entry and ball across the goal, but well cleared there by Kashona Fitzgerald.
Aren't the goalie playing brilliantly today? Both of them, both ends.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome to see too, because wow. Wow, that's from behind her, and she's pulled that off reverse stick and linked up just there with Hepi.
Oh.
That very nearly tippled the stick there of Fitzwalter and would have really troubled Mia Willard if it had. There's some fantastic play there from the Bay of Plenty goal scorer and Shinsia Golden there to trap that ball from behind her to create that opportunity. We're closing in on the final 5 minutes of this game here between Bay of Plenty and North Harbour. It's the she's been electric, hasn't she? Just touches on anything. I know it's a long way from the goal, but had it rolled in, was a goal. It'll be Rashika Chiba, who has just rolled out to play at the back here to help this Harbour women's team with speed at the back. That's a lovely link pass there. It was Divyani Soma out to Krishma Kumar. And just gets away from her there over the back line, and less than 5 minutes to play here now. We're still locked up at 1-1, and it was the same score we had at half time. Bay of Plenty scoring in the opening 5 or 6 minutes, and Harbour then in the second quarter. Both teams just unable to make it past the strong efforts from both goalkeepers. There's the long ball again. Yep. Last 4 or so minutes to see what either team has going forward. I think a little bit of communication would have gone a long way there. Woody were happy, like I said, won't give up on anything. If she'd got the call, may have been better to allow Gowden to receive that one. This is Manisha Jerem coming forward. Great spot tackle there by Fitzwalter. Links up with Heppy, who's got Rashika Chiba, turns her on the inside. And again, Mia Wallab in goal for Harbour. It'll be another opportunity here. Good scramble defence by Harbour. Juhi Fitzwalter. Manisha Jerem doing some clean-up work there. But Bay will keep possession. Here's Fitzwalter on the ball for Bay Indians. Turned away again, but they'll keep possession. It's a little build-up here if the Harbour team can weather this. And it's still there for Bay. Just wearing down this final 3 minutes. Bay have plenty women. And they've done well there, Harbour, to weather that one. They've got a couple of minutes here to try and avoid this game going to a penalty shootout. Good out there from Harbour, and it's linked up here. Here they go. Anjali Panchir on the ball. No, she's going to walk off it and allow Devyani Soma to move forward. She's got Manisha Jerem with her, and Krishma Kumar coming up the other side of the field. Soma she doesn't have an option to transfer the ball across the field. Trying to pull some of these Bay defenders out. Does well to get past Stacey Wepper there the first time, but still trying to transfer the ball. Just doesn't have the players in the spots to do it, but here it might be. Out to Rashika Chiba. That's a lovely pass by Vina Harris come on now for Harbour. There it is, Devyani Soma onto the foot there. And with just a little over 30 seconds on the clock, this will be the opportunity for North Harbour to come away with the cookies here. So
they're gonna want to convert it, and
yeah, they probably, unless it's an instant recall, they're probably not going to get another opportunity after this one. this will just about spell down the final seconds on the clock, so it's all up for Harbour. I want to avoid the extra worries of having to go to a penalty shootout, that's for sure. Will be a reset on the corner. Just not quite the execution they would have wanted out there. Didn't quite come to the trapper. Unfortunately, Misha Tatley's not on the field for them. And not able to get a clean one away there, Harbour, which means we will finish the game up here 1-1, and it will mean we go to penalty shootouts here in this match between the Bay of Plenty women and the North Harbour women. This is the women's bracket of the Indian QBT tournament here at Puna Sports Centre in Christchurch. And it's a draw, 1-1 here, and there were goals scored early in the first and early in the second quarters, unable to be separated, these two teams. And it means an exciting final tomorrow. And great news for the men's teams wanting to get on. Both teams have just made the call to, we'll do it all tomorrow. They're going to play the game tomorrow. I think for them, no point in being out here for any longer than it needs to be. 2 games in the day. They'll come back to tomorrow, and their final will be their final. I think great show of sportsmanship between the two teams.
Great choice, really.
Yep. There's men's teams that want to get on for their final game. There's these girls that want to get in for rest and recovery, I'm sure, in preparation for tomorrow's final. So we'll call it a day, and we'll take the 1-1 draw. Just get confirmation of that from both parties. It does appear that the umpires are coming off the pitch, and that will bring a close to today's game between Bay of Plenty Indians and North Harbour Indians. The game will finish 1-1. Usually would go to a penalty shootout if there were much riding on this, but both teams coming in unbeaten. And it has appeared that both teams happy to call it 1-1. They will contest the final tomorrow, and they'll let that result speak for itself. So thank you so much for joining us from this women's game here at QBT 2022, and we'll be back with the final men's game shortly. And welcome back to the I Hope We Were Going to Get Out of Here on Time broadcast, thanks to Local Gecko Productions. No, we will have a penalty shootout. It did sound like on field both teams had agreed to just call it what it call it, but Obviously they're going to have to play the penalty shootout out. As mentioned, this game will be the game already tomorrow for the final, but after originally agreeing on the field, looks like we will go to the penalty shootout between the Bay Plenty women and the North Harbour women. So for Bay Plenty, looks like they will have Oriwa Hepi, Priya Tapachetri, the goal scorer Shinsia Gowden. Looks like they'll have Michaela Whipper and they'll have Manjot Lal. In fact, it won't be Michaela Whipper, it'll be Gurleen Gill. But taking the first one will be Oriwa Hepi, and goal is Mia Walab. Great late stick save there by Mia Walab. There will turn away Oriwa Hepi. Oriwa got around the body of Walab, but it's a late stick save that turns her away. For those of you unfamiliar with the penalty shootout process, an attacker will have 8 seconds to enter the circle and attempt to score with as many attempts as they can inside the 8 seconds. It's not until the ball goes over any of the outlines, including in the goal, or an infringement is awarded, that the shootout is over or 8 seconds is up. There was Devyani Soma there for the Harbour team. She'd done all the hard work, and then yeah, that one wasn't quite on target, unfortunately. So both teams with the first up miss. And it'll be Gurleen Gill here for the Bay of Plenty women. Score still locked up at 1-1 regular time, 0-0 on the shootouts, as Mia Walab will step out here for the Harbour team. Here is Gill. And that one's in the back of the net for the Bay women. They go ahead 1-0 in the penalty shootout. A reverse stick finish there by Gurleen Gill, and it will be Misha Tatley to come forward for the Harbour team. Kashona Fitzgerald in goal, Misha Tatley on attack. Double save there by Fitzgerald, first on the reverse stick and then on the dive save. She's done well there. Misha Tatley unable to break past Kashona Fitzgerald. And it will be the goal scorer, Shinsia Gowden, here for the Bay women. And it's Mia Walab again in goal, defending. Score 1-0 advantage to Bay Plenty. You did fantastically well on the first save, did Mia Walab, but just made it past her foot there on the second attempt, and it's Shinsia Gowden who puts the Bay Plenty woman up with the 2-0 advantage. And forward will step Karishma Kumar here for North Harbour. Fitzgerald again in goal. Yeah, nice simple penalty shootout there by Karishma Kumar. Just found an opportunity where Fitzgerald wasn't quite in the right spot and flipped it straight in over the outstretched leg. And it's 2-1 the advantage Bay Plenty. This is Priya Tapachetri against Mia Walab. That one there after the whistle of the 8-second shootout. So Manisha Jerem here for Harbour, able to level it up. Manisha not able to get a hold of that one, unfortunately, and if stepping forward here will be Manjot Lal. If she scores it, this is the game for Bay of Plenty. If not, there will be an opportunity for Harbour to level up when we go to sudden death. So Manjot Lal. And that'll be the game. That is the penalty shootout, and it's advantage 3-1, too high to overcome for North Harbour, and that will be our game. Bay of Plenty winners in the penalty shootout 3-1 after a 1-all scoreline to end the game in regular time. These two teams will meet again in tomorrow's final, and we will be back here again for the final men's game of the day very shortly. Thank you.